The posse, Ricky Sanders, Art Monk, and Gary Clark, are well on their way to becoming one of the greatest receiving trios ever. And Redskin playoff hopes are still alive. Jim Hanifin's spirit is bowed but not broken as the young Falcons continue to drive in reverse. Atlanta has begun its search for a new head coach. The names Spurrier and Makovic appear on the growing list of candidates. And one thing is certain, the new coach will have to evaluate a team and organization which now finds itself on the outside looking in. Atlanta is now leading the Derby for the #1 overall pick in the draft for the second time in 3 years. A dubious #1 distinction. Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium is filled near capacity on a cold afternoon in the South. It's an intra-divisional matchup between the Washington Redskins and the Atlanta Falcons. The Redskins have won 3 in a row, but still have only slim hopes for a wild card berth. Washington has to win its final 2 games, while the Rams lose both of theirs, and that is not likely. And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Atlanta. Happy holidays. I'm Tim Brandt. The Rams win, the Redskins are out. It is that defined. The Rams are playing the Jets this afternoon, and we will keep you updated on that game throughout the afternoon. Meanwhile, the good news for Washington fans is that when you talk to the players, they talk about a 3-game win streak. They talk about Joe Gibbs winning his 100th career game. They talk about how well the young players have come in and played admirably, filling in for the All-Pros, and they've done quite well. As we bring in Dan Jiggis, we'll talk about the Redskins, and even though the playoff hopes are slim, it appears as if Washington is finishing the season on an up note.
Well, they're excited. I mean, anytime you got a chance to be in the playoffs, you got to be excited. Now, the young people have done an extremely good job for Joe Gibbs. The 2 defensive backs, when you think about Mayhew and Johnson, have just done extremely well. Now, on the other side, offensively, Mark Rypien, I think, has had the best 3 games of his career over the last 3 weeks. And when you look at those wide receivers, all of them are going to go over 1,000 yards today.
They have been playing aggressively. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, it has been a tumultuous year. They lost their coach. They lost one of their teammates, Ralph Norwood, killed in that tragic car accident. They've been on a 5-game losing streak, and they've got one of the worst records in the league. So if you're Jim Hanifin, how do you turn things around?
Well, as explosive as the Redskins have been, Jim Hanifin would like to see his Falcons get that explosive. Now, the first week he was named head coach, he tried to get his guys excited by bringing in a couple of fake sticks of dynamite and scaring some of his players. The second week, it was hand grenades. This week, it was the big one. And it says, no more Mr. Nice Guy down here in Atlanta.
Well, the big one is a World War II Air Force bomb with the words, as you said, no more Mr. Nice Guy. But it's the 3rd week that Jim Hanifin has tried everything to loosen his team and motivate him. His cousin is a colonel, artillery guy. 3 weeks ago, he brought in dynamite into the locker room. Last week, hand grenades. We'll see if it works here this afternoon. Atlanta will be kicking off. You see number 5, Greg Davis. And he'll be kicking to Joe Howard of Washington, number 80. Howard, big day last week against San Diego. You see the 51-yard kick return. He had a big punt return and really got things going for the Redskins after they trailed 14-0. Just about set in Atlanta, a team that has been struggling. The fans realize it. Probably as many Redskin fans have come down for this game as Atlanta fans, and we're underway. This will be A.J. Johnson. Johnson has a hole on the right side, then trips across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The tackle was made by Moore. 17-yard return. So Mark Rypien comes on, and he has probably had 3 of his best games as a pro the last 3 weeks, decision-wise, when you talk to Joe Gibbs. And the rest of that offensive talent, Lachey, McKenzie, Jeff Bostic, one of the original Hogs, Schlereth, Simmons, and Donnie Warren is the tight end. In the backfield, Ernest Biner, the lone setback, along with Clark, Monk, Sanders, Tice, the other tight end, and Gerald Riggs come in on passing downs. A lot of different schemes you'll see out of the Redskins today. First down, Washington. Mess up in the backfield. Ball's on the ground. Atlanta has it. Tony Casillas made the recovery.
Tim, as soon as Mark Rypien turned around, he turned right into Ernest Bynum. Now, you see right there, trying to get out of his way a little bit, but Bynum runs directly into the quarterback. Now, one guy's got to step out of the way. Either it's the quarterback or the running back. Chances are that time Rypien took the wrong position as he handed off.
Redskins, as we mentioned, fell behind last week to San Diego 14-0. Joe Gibbs was very cautious last night to say that, hey, we've been starting slowly. We've got to change that. First down at the 18. Miller on first down throws to his big tight end, and Heller has the ball down near the 12. Knocked out by Neil Okowitz. So now, very quickly, we'll set that offensive lineup for you for Atlanta. Ken Clayton Dukes. Bill Fralick is playing despite a broken hand, and Houston Hoover. And the tight end is Ron Heller, who just made that catch. Settle and Jones in the backfield. Collins and Haynes the wideouts. And Dixon and Bailey come in on passing downs. Second down and 4. The ball marked at the 12 now. Jim Hanifin will do just about anything. He's very unpredictable. A humorous man, but a serious coach. Second down, call it 4. John Settle breaks to the outside. He'll lose yardage. Outstanding play by Martin Mayhew, the left corner. Man, Rocker, Grant, and Fred Stokes up front for Washington. Stokes, of course, from Manly. Caldwell, Neil Okowitz back, third game back from the IR. And Wilbur Marshall, the other linebacker. Mayhew, Johnson, Bowles, and Vaughn in that secondary. Monty Coleman and Alvin Walton come in nickel and dime situations. Right now, Washington brings in Brian Davis. They go to 5 defensive backs on third down and 8. Miller has time, throws to the corner, incomplete. Stacey Bailey looked like he had beaten Davis by a step, but the ball was overthrown. It is a very important day for scores around the National Football League. Cleveland up on Minnesota 14-10. Touchdown pass after Herschel Walker had broken a touchdown.
And Green Bay over Chicago 37-28. So the Central Division of the NFC is really unsettled at this point. Houston losing big time to Cincinnati. Now that really throws the AFC Central into a tizzy.
Greg Davis comes on for a 33-yard field goal attempt. Chris Miller is the holder. Good snap, good hold. And it's straight down the middle. So Atlanta's on the board first with a 33-yard field goal. Joe Gibbs got his 100th head coaching victory. And the last few weeks have seemed to energize him, refocus, and motivate him. Only the 19th coach in the NFL history to get that 100 wins. But right now he's a little bit down after that fumble in the field goal.
The interesting thing is Joe has always told us that he'd like to work with kids at some point or another. And strangely enough, he's getting his opportunity this year with the Redskins, because when you look at all those young people that are playing so well for him now, he's really, he and his staff have really gone back to a lot of coaching of young players, and that's the fun of it all.
Davis to kick off. Morris comes in as one of the deep guys now, number 22. In the middle, deep for the Redskins, Joe Howard. This will be Howard at the 1. And he's nailed. A 15-yard return, and Jesse Tuggle just drilled him.
Talk about turning out the lights. Jesse Tuggle does that a lot when he plays on the defense. Of course, he's a starter for the Atlanta Falcons defensively, but you see what he does on special teams as well. You know, some guys aren't drafted high, some guys aren't drafted at all, like a Jesse Tuggle, but they just simply come into the National Football League and play hard-nosed football, and that's all you ask of them.
It'll be first down, Washington, their second possession. The initial play in the fumble led to a 33-yard Greg Davis field goal. It's 3-0 Atlanta. Tim Brandt and Dan Jiggets with you. Rypien to throw, has time, now goes up top, and Clark is open. Clark across midfield into Atlanta territory, taken down by Deion Sanders.
Now what happened there is the receiver comes up underneath. Now you'll see over on the left side of your screen, Now see the man in motion. I believe that's Clark. Now he's going to come up underneath. What happens is Andre Bruce is playing out there in the linebacking position. There are two people covering the short receiver, and Deion Sanders never covers the wide receiver, Clark, who came in motion. As a result, Clark gets downfield, and pretty soon he's going to be over 1,000 yards if he keeps working against Deion that way.
The reaction by Rypien. He's playing with more spunk in the last couple of weeks. Gain of 34. It's first down Washington at the 48. Biner left side for a tough couple of yards. Stop was made by Tuggle and John Rady.
One thing for sure, if you try to run wide against the Atlanta Falcons, you know you're going to meet up with Jesse Tuggle at some point or another, number 58 for the Falcons, because he plays sideline to sideline.
It'll be second down and 7 as you look at Atlanta's defensive front. Mike Gann, Tony Casillas, who's having his best year in the NFL, and Ben Thomas. Bruce, Rady, Jesse Tuggle, and Tim Green are the linebackers, and in the secondary, it's Butler, Sanders, Gordon, and Moore. Of course, Deion Primetime is the guy that everybody looks at in that secondary. Again, the ball's on the ground, and Rypien gets it back, but he gets drilled in doing so, and he's shaken up. Jesse Tuggle's the guy that hit him, and he was really in a lot of pain. It was the way he landed and had his neck jammed back.
It looked like as soon as he went down for the ball, he's got his head snapped back, and Rypien's in a lot of trouble down there on the field. Again, it was a center quarterback exchange was the main problem here. It looked like he pulled out and never really got the ball. Now, as he goes back down to get it, he's going to get hit right in the head right there. And that is Jesse Tuggle, I believe, that jams his neck up.
It is. So while they work on Mark Rypien, Doug Williams now will start talking to the coaches and come into the ball game. Boy, that looked ugly.
It sure did. I was looking at his eyes. We had the close-up shot. And it looked like his eyes were rolling back just a little bit. And I sure hope it's nothing serious. You know, maybe sometimes you get that stinger in your neck, but he got a real hard shot from Jesse Tuggle that really snapped his head back.
We'll get word from the bench as soon as we have one. We'll get it to you.
There's another look at it. Now watch Mark Rypien's head as it snaps back here, as he gets a really horrendous shot on the shoulder there. And you see that's what the whole problem is going to be. And also you see he's got his head up still as Tuggle is trying to bring him down. He's still got his forearm up underneath of the chin strap.
2 fumbles by Washington early on, and we will tell you it's a very cold afternoon, unusually so for Atlanta this time of year. But the temperature yesterday was in the teens, and today it's in the low 30s. 12:43 remaining first period. The Falcons lead Washington 3-0. The medical staff continues to work on Mark Rypien, but the good news is he's up. While you were away, he moved his legs and his arms. And as you see, he's walking off the field on his own as Bubba Tyre talks to him. So he is apparently going to be fine, and that's the good news. Doug Williams comes in to replace Rypien. He leaves with 1 pass, 1 completion. But the ball's been on the ground twice. One led to a 33-yard Greg Davis fumble. And Atlanta leads 3-0 here at Fulton County Stadium. So the Redskins off to another shaky start. And we'll get you an update on Rypien as soon as we get one here in the booth. It's the NFL's #2 ranked offense. Has 3 of the top 10 receivers in the league this year. Monk, Sanders, and Clark. 3rd down and 6. Williams looked like he had problems with the snap and underthrows Biner out in the flat. Tim Gordon was the defensive back there, but Williams really hadn't warmed up that much. And it looked like he had trouble with the snap.
Yeah, and you got to wonder what's the problem with between the center and quarterback on the exchange. Now, maybe Bostic is not getting it up high enough because both quarterbacks have had a little bit of a problem with that. I'm sure Joe Buchel's going to talk to Bostic over on the sidelines and try to get it out all squared away.
Ralph Mlchenko to kick for Washington. Deion Sanders is deep for the Falcons. Mlchenko 3rd in the league in punting. Sanders at the 10. To the 16-yard line and taken down from behind. So it's a 33-yard punt and a 5-yard return. Monty Coleman.
Over the last 6 games, Tim, the Redskins defense has just been outstanding. I mean, when you look at the way that they have stopped people from scoring, particularly in the second half, they've been even more devastating. But they've gotten some young people in there, and they've really done a nice job for them at the corners, as we mentioned before. And Tracy Rocco, when you look at him down on the defensive line, Fred Stokes is only in his 3rd year.
The Chargers last week were the first team to score a fourth-quarter touchdown on Washington in 5 weeks, as you see Mark Rypien walking off. First down, Atlanta. Miller drills it across the middle, and Collins has it at the 42. Sean Collins, 6'2", 207-pound rookie out of Northern Arizona. A gain of 25, and he was working on Martin Mayhew, the rookie.
And the nice thing for Chris Miller, the quarterback of the Falcons, is he got plenty of time. His offensive line has had some problems over the last couple of weeks giving him time, but this time they did it in good fashion. And when you see Sean Collins coming across the middle, he's beaten Martin Mayhew there, but Collins is a good receiver in his own right and is looking to go over 1,000 yards this year in only his rookie year.
Save Mayhew's a rookie. He's really in his 1st year, but essentially a rookie in that he didn't play very much. First down and 10, Atlanta at the 42. This one is complete, and Wilkins is inside the 30 to the 24-yard line.
Wilkins came down on that seam route here, and what you're going to see is the Washington Redskins drop back in the zone. Watch those linebackers drop back in their zones. Now, zones, you know, every time you run one, you're going to get that seam route from the tight end, and that's exactly what the Falcons did. And when you get this big bull back there in that secondary, you got problems bringing him down, Wilkins.
Mayhew made the tackle, 35-yard gain, and look at these numbers, 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games for Gary Wilkins, the 2nd-year player out of Georgia Tech. Miller on first down throws underneath, and this one's dropped. Again, it was intended for the big split end, Sean Collins. Clarence Vaughn took him down. Tim, you have to wonder at that time, did Sean hear those footsteps coming up from Clarence Vaughn? You saw him just take a quick peek around there when he got ready to catch the ball. He knew he was going to get hit, and if you're in that situation, go ahead and catch the ball. He's a big receiver, a big wide receiver. Might as well put a little punishment on those DBs. Collins is the leading rookie receiver in the NFL. Minnesota takes the lead back from Cleveland. Kramer to Jordan. 3 minutes left in that one. 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 23 for the Falcons. Play action from Miller. Has pressure now and throws underneath. It was intended for Wilkins, but it was poorly thrown by Miller, who was throwing off pressure. The pressure that time came from man. He had 2 receivers, actually. He could have gone either on a short pattern or he could have gone down into the end zone to Keith Jones. Keith was open down in the end zone, but Chris really didn't have time to set up and get clear field of vision down there and pop it in there. Miller now 3 for 6, 66 yards. 6'2", 200-pounder in his 3rd year. This is only his 29th NFL start. He's thrown for over 5,000 yards. Gene Lang comes into the ball game now along with John Settle. 3rd down and 10. And the Falcons take a timeout. The report on Mark Rypien is a sprained neck, and they don't believe it to be serious. Well, he's such a big physical quarterback. You know, a lot of times when you're that big and that physical at the quarterback position, you kind of take some chances. And that time Rip was trying to get a couple extra yards after the fumble to try to at least help out on the play a little bit, and really got jammed up by Jesse Tuggle. It was a clean tackle by Tuggle. There was nothing dirty about it. The only thing is he had that arm caught up underneath the face mask, and that really jammed it back for him. Talking about Joe Gibbs, he's been energized by this young club, I think, Dan. We saw him earlier in the year, and he was tired. He was depressed after losses to the Raiders, especially after Dallas. He was truly devastated. As a matter of fact, we speculated that he would step down at the end of the year, but I feel strongly now that he'll be back next year. He just seems to be enjoying himself a lot more. I think he's going to do one of those battery commercials now. You know, you got energized, going to put the battery on his shoulder. Now he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's ready to go back at it. Well, the Skins have won 2 Super Bowls, 3 NFC championships, and been to the playoff 5 times. And you see the 100 wins and how fast he got there. Brian Davis comes in for Washington now. They go to 5 defensive backs. It's 3rd down and 10 Atlanta. The Redskins show blitz. And they're coming. Miller reads it, makes the completion, and they're going to rule this ball dead. It's complete to Stacey Bailey, and they ruled him down. Well, the call may be controversial, but the decision was made immediately.
That's right. They call it right now, and that's one of the things you ask from the officials is to make a call right now, be definitive about it, and let's see if we can live with it. Now, what's going to happen here is you're going to see Stacey Bailey on a slant pattern up across the middle. They know they got the blitz on, so Stacey comes in, makes a nice reception. Now the ball pops out as he comes to the ground. They say the ground can't cause a fumble. Well, there's always a question of whether or not the knee was down, and in that picture, it's not real clear. Now, maybe we can see it a little bit better from this angle. He's going down now. He's still got possession of the ball, and as he hits the ground, the ball pops out. Now, I wonder if this rule about the ground not being able to cause a fumble is a result of AstroTurf, because it's so hard normally. That's when you really see that ball pop out a lot when the receivers go down.
Well, they ruled it incomplete. So take away the gain of 14 and then move the ball back. It'll bring up a 4th down situation, and Davis comes back on to attempt the field goal.
That was a bad call all the way around then. Either it's a fumble or it's a reception.
Davis hit from 33 yards to make it 3-0 Atlanta. This one's from 39 officially. Miller takes a step back now for the hold. It's closer to 40. And it's no good. So the Redskins have held, and the score remains the same. 10-16 remaining first period. It's still 3-0 Atlanta because of this miss.
Yeah, the ball actually looks like it hits the upright. And as it comes along here now, we're going to freeze it right up in here just as it gets near the upright. Let's see if we can see it just kind of tick off right about there. And you see it changes its spin just a little bit as it goes past the goalpost. Maybe it hit it and maybe it didn't, but Joe Gibbs was very happy that it didn't go through the goalpost. Ready to get Doug Williams back out there and get the offense cranked up.
I suspect we'll see Gerald Riggs quite a bit today since he's been motivated coming back and playing in front of his folks. But right now it's been Biner most of the way. 3 tight ends for the Redskins. Terry Orr in motion. This is Biner. Big hole right side, and he blasts through it for a gain of 4. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
When you talk about Ernest Biner, Joe Gibbs can't say enough nice things about him. He says that he's really a complete back. You know, when they got him from Cleveland, they knew that there were certain things he could do, and he did them well, like blocking for Kevin Mack at Cleveland. But he's come in here and he's really become the complete ball player for him. Pass receptions, blocking, running the football, everything you could ask him to do.
He needs 90 yards today to go over 1,000 combined yards for the year. Monk in motion on 2nd and 6. Williams, the quarterback. Rypien's been shaken up, and this ball is badly overthrown in the direction of Ricky Sanders.
Ball's about 5 yards over Ricky Sanders' head, and that's what one of the problems is when you bring in another quarterback. Your backup quarterback is those timing situations where you got to throw that long out. That's the thing where you have to have that coordination between the receiver and the quarterback, and Doug Williams probably just hasn't gotten the number of reps that the starting quarterback normally does.
Wow, how about Cincinnati today with 50-some points, 58 points. This Redskin offense has averaged 31 points a game over the last 3 weeks. Now ranked 2nd in the league. It's 3rd down and 6 at the 27 for Washington. Williams drills this one in the direction of Sanders, has the 1st down, breaks a tackle to the 45-yard line. Robert Moore finally takes him down.
See, what the Redskins are going to do when they run their passes, they're going to put the defense in a little bit of a pickle. They're going to make you make a decision. Now, this time Sanders is going to come right back across the formation, going down about 5, cutting back. Now you see Biner coming back out the other way. So what happens is those linebackers have to make a decision right now. Are you going to take the first guy or the second guy? If there's any mix-up at all, somebody's wide open.
It's a gain of 18. It'll be 1st down at the 45. Defensive backs in a 2-deep zone now for Atlanta. It's complete to Monk. The coverage was pretty good by Butler.
Well, you can hear Doug checking off, too. What happens is when he sees Marcus Cotton, number 51, is over there, linebacker, down in that down position, you know he's rushing. Andre Bruce over the other side, the other outside linebacker, kind of looking like he wants to rush. You figure maybe we'll go to something quick and just like pop it off in there, and that's what they did that time to Art Monk.
Williams, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions this year. As you got a good look at Andre Bruce. 2nd down and 4 at the 49. This is Biner. Strong cutback, breaks a tackle down to the 40-yard line. Tripped up by Tim Gordon.
You saw that little move he made just as he got to the line of scrimmage. Now, there was good maintenance on the backside by his offensive line because you can't cut back unless you're getting that. That time he was able to pop up front, change his direction, and come onto that backside.
Green Bay with a big win today over Chicago. Chicago already eliminated from the playoffs, trying to do the same to the Packers. But Green Bay holds on. Pittsburgh still alive in the playoff hunt. Biner goes out. He's got 3 carries, 16 yards, but he's shaken up. So Gerald Riggs comes in and replaces him. First time we've seen Riggs this afternoon. Here he is on the reverse to Sanders. Gets a block from Williams. And has the first down. Oh, what a block by Doug Williams.
Oh, the old man stretched it out that time. You saw he let it in there, got the shoulder down in there too now. That was all right. He got Andre Bruce. Now this is going to reverse. And now watch the key thing here, though, is the beauty of this play is the block by Doug Williams. Now, granted, the offensive line does a great job up there making sure everybody makes the right reads, but watch this block here by Doug Williams. Watch him get that shoulder in on Andre Bruce. Now, keep in mind, Andre Bruce is 6'5", about 245, #1 draft choice and all that.
Oh, I guarantee you, they'll dog Andre in the film session, too, when they see that. Gain of 12, first down at the 28 for the Redskins. Riggs straight ahead to the 25-yard line. Riggs sat out most of the last 7 games with a sore arch. Spent 7 seasons with the Falcons and was acquired by Washington last April. Jets leading the Rams 7-0, and that's a big score for the Redskins. Rams win, the Redskins are eliminated. 2nd down and 6. This is Riggs. Down to the 22-yard line.
I'm sure if I'm playing on that Atlanta Falcon defense, no one has to tell me that when Gerald Riggs comes into the game, I got to tighten up my chin strap and know that I have to get low because they're going to run the football. They know Gerald so well because he played down here, of course, for the Falcons. They got to know that they want to run that power game now up inside with Gerald Riggs.
Tackle was made by Mike Gann that last time. There's Riggs. Last time these two clubs met here in Atlanta, Riggs scored a 4-yard touchdown to beat Washington. Ernest Biner comes back into the game now. 3rd down and 4. Williams has the completion to Biner, but the stop is made by Gordon.
That was a strong play by Tim Gordon. Came right up out of his safety position and just nailed Biner right there as soon as he caught the ball.
Not enough for the first down.
Well, that's the key, though. See, Tim Gordon comes up on the left-hand side of your screen, comes up out of his safety position. Now watch him stop Biner before he can gain 1 yard. See him coming up there now? That's the stick that really stopped him there.
So Chip Lohmiller comes on to try to tie this game. Had a strong first half of this season. He's now got a streak of 7 in a row, and he's perfect from inside 33 yards. This is from 38. It's long enough, and it's good. And we're tied at 3. Four minutes, 58 seconds remain in the first quarter. Four minutes, 58 seconds remain in the first quarter. And the Redskins and the Falcons are tied at 3. Keep you updated on some of the other scores. Jets and Rams now tied at 7. And how about this one? 12 seconds remain, and it's now tied 17 all. Chip Lohmiller kicking off. Deion Sanders and Keith Jones. It's Sanders. Breaks a tackle and is finally taken down at the 31-yard line by Martin Mayhew. But it's a 23-yard return by Deion Sanders, and there is a flag.
I think it's going to be one thing that happened on that play is Deion got grabbed up around his head on the when he ran back the kick.
Well, they're calling this one, though, against the Falcons.
Holding 95 on the receiving team during the return. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So it is against Atlanta. The referee today is Gordon McCarter.
And Mike Reed is the guy that got called for the penalty holding there. He's number 95. He's got a hold of Minuski, I believe it is, and just kind of gets caught up in the mix there. And at some point or another, he's got to get a hand on him, I guess, and grab him. Doesn't look like it's him as much as it is one of his teammates. Don't be around those kinds of situations.
First down, Falcons, the ball at the 16. Atlanta's been able to move the ball against this defense. Pressure this time on Miller, and he throws it incomplete. It was thrown in the direction of John Settle. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited.
The Kansas City Chiefs go down to defeat to the San Diego Chargers, and that just about eliminates them from the playoff picture.
Still alive? Barely. You're right. Second down and 10 now for Atlanta. Jones gets a couple of yards, tripped up by Charles Mann, but there's another flag. Hey, this defense has been hot. You talked about the last 6 games. The Skins have allowed only 68 points. That's an average of 13 a game.
Well, one of the reasons why is I think is they've gone back and kind of gotten back to basics as well, and kind of gotten
legal motion, number 80, offense, 5 yards, still first down.
I've gotten excited about playing again, and sometimes, you know, you fall into a little bit of a lull, particularly when you're a veteran team. But all of a sudden, when you're challenged because some of your named guys are no longer there, then everybody kind of gets into the mix a little bit and tries to make that extra effort that makes you successful.
So where the Browns and the Vikings are going overtime. That game ends in a 17-17 tie. Second down and 15, the ball at the 11. Miller, Jones for a couple. Good coverage by the Redskins. The pursuit came from Kurt Gouveia.
When you try to get out there on that screen, you got to wait and let your offensive lineman, get out there in front of your running back. If you don't do that, you're going to have those kinds of results on screen plays. That time, the Falcons just did not allow enough time to let the offensive lineman get out there and set up and try to take out some of that interference.
Big Fred Stokes got out and helped in on the tackle. 6'3", 262-pounder playing that right end position that was vacated by Dexter Manlin. He's got 2 sacks, 3 forced fumble, and more tackles than Dexter had. Redskins now go to 6 defensive backs on 3rd down and 13. Flag is down. The pass is complete to Collins. Collins is tackled by Clarence Vaughn at the 31-yard line, but we'll wait to see what the flag is.
It's apparently going against the Redskins.
Offside, lining up in a neutral zone, number 60 defense.
That's Fred Stokes, and Stokes was shaken up on the play.
Now, if you're inside close to the ball, they always tell you there's no excuse for being offside. All you got to do is look down inside and see where the ball is. Fred Stokes, number 60, this time was called for being in the neutral zone. Now, Miller makes a nice read on this play, by the way. Sean Collins comes across on the slant pattern, once again working against A.J. Johnson. But watch this tackle here by Clarence Vaughn. He spikes him down into the ground.
First down at the 31 for Atlanta. Incomplete. It was thrown at Michael Haynes, and Haynes couldn't hold on. Good coverage by A.J. Johnson.
Tim, you mentioned that Stokes had gone out. Let's see if we can find out how he got injured on that play. He's working against Houston Hoover there, number 69 for the Falcons. appears that he may just have twisted his back a little bit when he spun around.
Dan, it'll be 2nd down and 10. Stokes comes back in. Collins has been the hot receiver. He's got 2 catches for 41 yards, 49 catches for the year. Miller has pressure, goes deep, almost intercepted by Mayhew.
Martin Mayhew looked like the wide receiver on the play. Chris Miller led him beautifully, and he just missed the pass. Mayhew's working right down the bottom of your screen now. Watch him as he goes back and he drops back into position. It almost looks like Chris Miller's throwing the ball to him. Mayhew comes off the break, makes a nice lean out for the reception and misses it. He could have had an INT.
Boy, he'd like to have that one back. He played the same secondary at Florida State with Deion Sanders.
Said he was going to meet with him last night, but he said, hey, it was this way. Deion played with me. I want to make that perfectly clear.
12 of Atlanta's 13 plays have been passes. It's 3rd down and 10. And they're going to throw it again. They do. Great coverage again by Martin Mayhew. Oh, what a defensive play he made on Floyd Dixon.
See, the key is you can't be afraid to get beat back there, and Martin Mayhew apparently is not afraid of that. Now watch him play on this play. Watch him stick there, and as soon as he comes out of that break, he reaches right over and knocks the ball down. And that's that aggressiveness that you have to have at the cornerback position. Just simply reaches in and slaps the ball down. He's dead on the receiver, Dixon.
So Atlanta will punt. Scott Fulhag comes on, and Joe Howard will be deep for the Redskins. Howard standing at his own 33. Fulhag gets off a long punt. Howard runs into the official back there and lets it hit. And it rolls down to the 12-yard line. Clarence Vaughn better be careful. Clarence Vaughn was being backed up dangerously close to the ball on the ground. So it's a 57-yard punt and no return.
And there's Deion Sanders, the former teammate of Martin Mayhew.
The talkative one. These 2 guys were hanging out last night in the lobby of the hotel.
Deion has been having his problems of late. Big story today actually broke yesterday about him and a former agent that he had out on the West Coast. Had some problems there, didn't pay the guy back. Prime time.
1st down, the ball at the 13 for the Redskins. Quarterback is Doug Williams. And he's going for it all. Sanders at the 41-yard line with great catch by Sanders. Scott Case thought he had the interception, but Sanders came down with it, and the rule states that the offensive guy with the ball, if his feet hit, has the catch. A gain of 47.
This is what is called a simultaneous possession here, but as you watch the play, watch Sanders just take it away from Case as he's going down to the ground. See, he's got the possession right now, and Case is trying to pull the ball out. The important thing was, he went down, simultaneous possession. It went that time to the offensive, the receiver. He just took it away from Scott Case.
Case has been bothered by a groin injury. He's been inactive for most of this latter part of the season. Frustrating year for a guy who led the NFL with 10 interceptions last year. Gerald Riggs comes in replacing Biner. 1st down, Redskins. This is Riggs. Big hole right side. Out close to another 1st down. A gain of 9.
Big hole, big back, big yardage. Gerald Riggs around the right side. Now, the key thing here, counter trait. Washington's been running it for years now. Gets a good block out front by McKenzie and a nice follow-up block by Lachey, number 79. That really clears things out inside for him. Makes a good little cut there to get some extra yardage.
You think he's not motivated today?
Oh, I talked to him down the field. He says there's no question that he's excited about being back here where he played for so many years, for 7 years.
Williams now 4 for 6, 72 yards. He's had his last 4 in a row. This is Riggs again. Big tackle by Jesse Tuggle.
Hey, I want to tell you something about Jesse Tuggle. We were talking about him earlier. You know, a guy that wasn't drafted, a free agent type, only 5'11", although he'll tell you he's over 6 feet. But he plays so tough inside from his inside linebacking position. He plays a lot bigger than he is. Now, if you've got to tackle a back like Gerald Riggs, you got to bring a load. And Jesse Tuggle brings a load. He stops Gerald Riggs dead to right on the line of scrimmage.
Mark Rypien went out of the ball game early with a sprained neck, replaced by Doug Williams, and Williams now has had the hot hand 4 in a row. 3 tight ends for the Redskins on 3rd down and 1. Finer blasts off the right side, and he has the first down.
Interesting thing is today the Redskins have been seemingly a little bit more conservative in their game plan than they have been over the last couple of weeks. They've been featuring their running attack a great deal more, but of course the reason why is because Atlanta's defense is ranked number 28 against the run in the National Football League.
Today we're on the posse watch with Sanders, Clark, and Monk trying to become only the 2nd trio in the NFL to go over 1,000 yards in the season. And that's the end of the first quarter. With a score, Washington 3, the Falcons 3. A cold evening in the southern city of Atlanta, Georgia. We're tied at 3, Washington and the Falcons. And the good news is Mark Rypien's x-rays were negative. He's come back out. He's been on the phone to the coaches upstairs, and he's starting to warm up again.
A cold evening. You guys don't know what cold weather is. This is a heat wave up in Chicago where I'm living.
Well, for Atlanta, it's cold. And they're expecting snow and freezing rain later this evening. Riggs gets a couple of tough yards off the right side. You know, Washington has gained over 100 more yards per game this year than Atlanta has.
And then we talked about the woes of the Atlanta. They've just been as ineffective offensively in terms of running the football. Problems is when you get the coordination up front with your offensive linemen, they kind of get the picture. You want them to fire off the ball like the Redskins offensive line does. Then you kind of understand what if your linemen up front don't move off the football, you're in big trouble.
You saw those numbers. Washington has the 2nd-ranked offense in the league, and Atlanta's right down at the bottom. It's 2nd down and 9, the ball at the 29. Williams going up top into the corner, timing pattern, and it's incomplete. He was going after Sanders, and Sanders was being covered by Prime Time.
And he's rolled up in the end zone. It looks like he might have gotten dinged a little bit on the play, but Prime Time recognizes that he's in the middle of a football game, and he's back up there and getting ready to go back in the huddle. Now, his coverage was pretty good down the sideline. You know what the Redskins told us they wanted to do is they wanted to see if they could get him to bite a couple of times. This was just a simple go pattern, though, and Deion Sanders, with his kind of outstanding speed, just stays right with Sanders.
He had great position, playing inside out, right in the hip pocket.
And see, he's got great closing speed as well, so he can dangle out there a little bit and then really come up and close on the receiver.
3rd down and 10 from the 29. Washington 2 for 4 on 3rd down conversions this afternoon. They'll be tested here, and they blow it dead.
Delay of game, offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd and 15. You know, an interesting thing, you talk about statistically how bad this Atlanta defense is, but Atlanta's not yielded 300 net yards passing in a game yet this year, but it's being tested here this afternoon.
Well, I think one of the problems that they've had all season is because the offense hasn't been as productive as you'd like to see. They're out on the field an awful lot, and if you just look back to last week in the Minnesota game, 2 of those touchdowns that were scored against them were scored by the Minnesota defense.
You don't want to be a member of this club.
Yeah, 28, so that's when you run away from.
Scott Case comes into the game for Atlanta. 5 defensive backs, 3rd down and 15. Open, touchdown Redskins. A 34-yard strike.
Art Monk up at the top of your screen, number 81. Goes on a nice streak route. Now watch, if somebody drops off in coverage here, somebody's got to take Art Monk when he goes past that 10 yards, and nobody does. Deion Sanders looked like he wanted to come up and jam him, and he just simply missed him. What they did is he went down, took that little out, and then went back up.
Lohmiller's extra point is good. And the Redskins lead it 10-3. Keep you updated on the playoff situation. Minnesota will still win the division in the tie situation. Their wild card hopes will end if Redskins or the Rams win today. So that's very important. Green Bay still has the division title hopes with their win today and a remote wild card chance. They have a better chance of winning the division than they do winning a wild card spot. As remote as that sounds. Take a look at the NFC East because that directly affects the Redskins. The Giants are in. They've already clinched the wild card, still very much in the hunt for the title picture. Philadelphia, of course,
plays on Monday night against the New Orleans Saints.
And they'll clinch a wild card by winning either of their last two games. And then the Redskins are still alive, but if the Rams win today, Washington's out. It's that defined. Lohmiller to kick off for the Redskins. Deion Sanders and Keith Jones are deep for Atlanta. Sanders takes it on the run at the 13. And gets out to the 27-yard line. Here's the end of the touchdown for Art Monk, and he now goes over 1,000 yards. So Monk and Clark are both over 1,000 yards, and they're waiting on Sanders.
You know, an interesting thing happened before the game. Sean Collins, a wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, came out and went over to the Redskin locker room and asked Art to come out because he said he wanted to meet him. He was a hero of his when he was growing up. Now, you don't like to hear that sometimes, but it's kind of nice for him to do it. You don't want to think you're that old.
On first down, Miller drops, throws deep, and he's got a man open. Haynes at the 40. Haynes at the 20. Touchdown, Falcons. For 72 yards.
The one thing you don't want to do is let a young team who's been down get up. If you allow them to do that, you allow them to get up and start fighting, you're in for a long day.
Davis for the extra point. And we're tied at 10. 13:45 remaining in the half. We're tied at 10, and there's no question Michael Haynes with Olympic trial speed turned it on this time.
Runs a simple go route. He beats A.J. Johnson all the way. Now, it looked like A.J. was expecting some help from inside from Todd Bowles because the defensive secondary was rotating that way, and it just never got there because Michael Haynes has extremely good speed. Now, watch 23. That's Todd Bowles watching. He's pointing over in that direction. You see the secondary start rotating there. Now, Bowles takes off. He sees the ball's thrown, but Michael Haynes has already gotten A.J. Johnson beat by about 5 or 10 yards.
Took Atlanta just 18 seconds to tie the game after Williams had hit Monk for the Redskins. So Greg Davis is kicking off to Joe Howard. Howard waits for this one at the 7. Fine return by Joe Howard out to the 26-yard line. Joe Howard, native Washingtonian, and he may be shaken up. Tackle was made by Jordan, so it's a 19-yard return, and Howard definitely is hurt. On first down for Washington, this pass to Sanders, good for 3 yards, out near the 30. Tackle made by Scott Case. Now the Browns have won on a fake field goal for a touchdown, and 23-17 is the final in that game. So Cleveland knocks off Minnesota, and if Cleveland wins next week, they've got the division title.
And it's really in their hands because they face Houston next week, and that could decide it all right there.
It also makes Green Bay very much in the hunt for the title. Second down and 6, the ball on the 30. Riggs hitting the backfield, stretches forward to the 30, but hit immediately by Mike Gann. That last catch by Sanders was his third, and he's now over 1,000 yards, so the posse's made it.
And remember, the last time that happened is with the San Diego Chargers. Joe Gibbs was an assistant coach with the Chargers, but that time it included a tight end. This time is the first time the 3 wide receivers have done it.
Well, it was Joyner, Jefferson, and Winslow in 1980. Gibbs was the offensive coordinator there. Now it's Sanders, Clark, and Monk. He's done it again. 5 defensive backs. Scott Case comes in. They show a 2-deep zone. It's 3rd down and 6 for the Redskins. Williams in the pocket, and he's sacked by Gann.
You know, when we were in the defensive lineman's room at the Atlanta Falcons complex, Mike Gann up on the board had about 25 or 30 quarterback pressures and no sacks. Finally, he gets his sack on Doug Williams, and it was a nice little spin move right there. Just at the end, he came in and hit Doug flush in the face.
Loshenko to punt. Cotton and Bruce were saying he'd have more hurries, but the balls were complete. Deion Sanders at the 32. Explodes through the middle. Sanders at the 40. And is knocked out at the 32-yard line. Oh, what a return by Prime Time. A 38-yard punt and a 33-yard return, and it's showtime now for Prime Time.
Oh, he is something else. Now watch him here, though. When he makes the reception, watch him high-stepping here a little bit. Sees the hole. Got to do a little high-stepping right there. Now he takes off, breaks it outside here. A little move, a little shake there in the kicker. Now head on out to the sideline. And the best part of the celebration was after he made, it got down and he made the catch and went out of bounds, got up and did a little high-five thing, a little backward high-five, actually. Primetime Sanders. I'll tell you one thing about this young man. He is extremely explosive, and he scares people. When you kick the ball to him, you always say, hey, keep your head on the swivel. You never know where he's going to go. One thing's for sure, he can take it the distance anytime.
Herb Welch knocked him out. But it's excellent field position now for the young Atlanta Falcons.
Appears that Raven Caldwell, number 50, is going over to the bench there. Looks like they're taking a look at his knee. We'll get a report as soon as we possibly can.
First down, Atlanta at the 32-yard line. Jones gets a couple of tough yards off that left side. You know, we were telling you about Cleveland's win in overtime over Minnesota and how that opens the gate now for Green Bay, because Minnesota controlled its own destiny in the division. All they had to do was win their final 2 games. And with that loss comes some more bad news, because Millard separated his shoulder in that game.
Well, you remember last week when we did the Falcons against the Vikings, he had a problem with his shoulder, and it was a question as to whether or not he was going to play. It looks like that shoulder's really gotten quite worse since that time.
Miller on 2nd down and 7 throws the screen to settle. And the Redskins are all over it. Good defense by the Redskins. Wilbur Marshall really made a nice defensive play.
Tim, to follow up on your idea about the Vikings and what they've got to do now to stay in the lead, they've got to play Cincinnati next week up in the Metrodome, and that's going to be a heck of a ball game for them. And Green Bay has just a little bit easier. You know, when you think about where Green Bay has come from this year, you've got to believe that that Lindy Infante is going to be voted Coach of the Year. They have to play Dallas next week, so you pick them. Who would you rather be?
Dallas has really struggled. Davis comes into the secondary for Washington. 5 defensive backs. It's 3rd down and 3 for Atlanta. Here comes the pressure on Miller, but he's mobile and throws the completion to Floyd Dixon, who makes a marvelous catch on the sideline.
Floyd Dixon is going to be on the right side of your screen. He knew he was running out of sideline, so what he did is he pulled up because he saw Chris Miller in trouble. Now, what you really like to have your receiver do is work back to the football just a little bit. He worked to an open area, turned around, and made just a sensational catch. That's very acrobatic. Thrown way behind him.
They mark the ball on the 17. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Atlanta. We still have 10 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the half. Three-step drop, fire to the outside. Inside the 5, touchdown Falcons. Michael Haynes. ...17-yard touchdown, his second of the day.
What he did was he drove off hard. That made Johnson bite on it right now. Now you see he slips, and now he just can't simply get back and get Michael Haynes. Michael Haynes has got extremely good speed and desire to get into the end zone.
That's Haynes' third touchdown of the year, his second today. And Davis adds another one. So the upstart Falcons have jumped out in front 17-10. And right now they're giving the Redskins all they can handle.
One thing you want to remember about these Falcons is they have not been knocked out of games early this season. It's happened late.
(17-10) Falcons with 10:03 remaining in the half. Michael Haynes with 2 touchdowns. And young Chris Miller, the quarterback, has gone over 3,000 yards for the first time in his career.
And I think that's the first time an Atlanta quarterback has gone over 3,000 yards since Steve Bartkowski was here.
It is. He now has 14 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions. He's having a fine year. This will be Johnson at the 5. Johnson finds a hole for a second, but it was only for a split second before he was hit by Thaxton. 20-yard return. This is what's happening in the NFC West now. You know that San Francisco has clinched the division and the home field as the playoffs begin. The Rams will clinch a wild card today by beating the New York Jets, coupled with a Washington loss. That game at last view was 7-7. And we'll keep you updated on that. At Fulton County Stadium, Doug Williams is the quarterback. It's first down, Washington, the ball at the 24, and the Redskins trail Atlanta by 7. Williams has plenty of time, goes deep for Sanders, almost intercepted by Tim Gordon. The free safety drifted over and almost had it.
That's the kind of help you look for from your free safety. Sitting back there, play a little center field, and when you see that ball going deep to Sanders, come across there and knock it out. And that's exactly what Tim Gordon did. You're going to see him right down the middle of your screen coming over and knocking down the football as Ricky Sanders tries to catch it down the middle of the field. Gordon, center field, just pop it out of there.
Doug Williams now 5 for 9 rather, 106 yards and a touchdown in the relief role for the injured Rypien. And if you're just joining us, Monk went over 1,000 yards. Sanders went over 1,000 yards. And Clark was already there. Second down and 10 at the 24. Williams on the waggle, sets up the backside screen to Biner, and he's hit immediately by Jesse Tuggle.
Jesse Tuggle read that one like a good novel. He saw Doug rolling out to that far side, recognized the screen right away, because Andre Bruce is going to come in on the rush now. He's going to rush Williams from that far side. So Jesse Tuggle has to come back and recover back there for him. Just simply gets in there and watch him make the stop on Biner. Talked about this guy before, only 5'11". As I told you, he says he's over 6 feet, but he's not. But he is a tough inside linebacker.
Look at the Rams have exploded over the Jets, 21-7 second period. And if they win that, the Redskins are out. Third down and 14. Williams throws it, almost intercepted. Bobby Butler had his hands on it and should have had it.
Bobby Butler saw the cash register ringing on this one. All he had to do was catch it, and it was 6 points because he reads it perfectly. Now steps in front of Art Monk. Doug on the rollout, trying to fire it into Art. Now watch Butler step in front of it. He's got it dead to right. All he's got to do is take it back into the end zone, and he takes his eye off it and drops it.
Lashenko standing at his own 5. It's a high punt, and Sanders will take it at the 38. Good coverage by the Washington special teams. So it's a 42-yard punt and a 5-yard return by Deion Sanders. The tackle was made by Mickles. Next Saturday, CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League continues with a special Saturday edition of the NFL Today at 3:30 Eastern Time. Then the Redskins take on the disappointing Seattle Seahawks. Chuck Knox is leading his team on a late stretch drive, which has included an upset win over the Buffalo Bills. That's all next Saturday at 3:30. Well, you talked about some receivers in that game, not only the posse from Washington, but Steve Largent. First down Atlanta. Miller goes deep, and again it's Haynes at the 25, and there'll be a flag. The flag will be against Clarence Vaughn, but it's a catch and a gain of 42 yards.
And tack on to 15 for the face mask, because I believe that's what it is. You saw Michael Haynes just stop and look like he put on his brakes there, but what it was is Clarence Vaughn holding him up.
Personal foul, face mask by the tackler, half the distance penalty, first down.
Right-hand side of your screen, that's Michael Haynes working down that sideline. He's got him beat all the way. And now watch as Clarence Vaughn comes over and tries to help out over there. There's nobody covered Haynes off the line of scrimmage. You see him grab that face mask. And that's what the extra 15 yards was about. But what I can't figure out is how come nobody covered Michael Haynes right off the line of scrimmage?
First down Atlanta, they mark it at the 12. Miller looks left, throws that way, and it's complete. Inside the 10 is Sean Collins, the rookie. Mayhew makes the stop, but they're going to mark this one down closer to the 5. Maybe the bomb worked.
Yeah, no more Mr. Nice Guys, huh? Sean Collins, you saw him just flash across your screen in motion now. Comes out on that little out pattern. But watch how strong this young man is. Watch him pull away here from Martin Mayhew. Mayhew's got to learn, hey, you got to put that shoulder in there and wrap these receivers up. But Sean Collins is about 6'3" and about 210 pounds. You don't wrap him up, he's gone.
They lead by 7, and they're threatening to extend that lead. Second down and 5 at the 7. Incomplete. It was intended for Keith Jones. And that ball was right there, but it was zipped.
Yeah, I think that time Chris could have taken just a little bit off of it. It's not bowling for dollars here.
He's concerned. Well, you knew coming into the ball game, the Falcons last in the league in running the football. So what do? You go to your strength and you pass. But so far, the Redskins haven't been able to stop them. Third down and 5. Miller's got problems, throws it anyway, and it's incomplete. Wilbur Marshall with the pressure.
And see, that's where, if you're the quarterback, Chris Miller, you've got to be able to check off very quickly and get a 3-step drop or a 1-step drop and pop it off. Here, the receiver, Collins, really doesn't break early enough to allow Miller to get the ball off to him. By the time he wants to throw the ball, he's got to just dump it right now, because you see that blitz is right in his face.
He was open. So Davis comes on to attempt a 24-yard field goal. He hit from 33 and missed from 40. Miller's the holder. Davis puts this one right down the middle. A 24-yard strike. And the Falcons extend their lead to 10 with 7:15 remaining in the half.
Up in the Kingdome in Seattle.
Jim Hannafin. Well, he lost to San Francisco 23-10 in his debut as interim head coach. He was blasted by Minnesota last week, but he's got the Redskins on the ropes.
Keep in mind, though, 14 of those points, they beat them 40-17, I believe it was, and 14 of those points were off of sacks by Dolman, and the balls were recovered and running for touchdown by defensive linemen, Newton and Millard.
He's got to be concerned because Atlanta scored on the last 3 possessions. Touchdown, touchdown, and field goal. And it's 20-10 with 7:15 remaining in the half. A.J. Johnson comes in as a deep man along with Howard and Jamie Morris. This is Johnson at the 11. Great coverage by the Atlanta special teams. Jordan got there first after a 6-yard return by A.J. Johnson, and Rypien is coming back into the ball game. He started the game, fumbled on the very first play of the offensive series. Atlanta scored on a field goal. Washington got the ball back, and Rypien fumbled again and got hurt, sprained his neck, and now he comes back into the ball game. Williams leaves. He was 7 for 12, 106 yards, and a touchdown. Riggs in the backfield. It's first down and 10 at the 17. Riggs breaks a couple of tackles and bangs his way out to the 22-yard line. Tim Gordon makes the tackle.
I mentioned before that with your offensive line, they've got to start moving people off the ball a little bit. Let's check in with that offensive line of the Redskins and see just who they're moving off the football. Let's see if those defensive linemen for the Atlanta Falcons are actually getting pushed back, or are they doing the pushing. In that case, Tony Casillas was doing the pushing. You saw him just drive right back into the backfield, and really he was the guy that messed up the whole play for Gerald Riggs.
Is down. Rypien throws incomplete, and I think they're going to have Sanders for breaking up field too early before the snap. It is, and Gordon McCarter makes the call.
Got to be careful when you get a team like this, a young team, as I said, that's been down. Cannot let it slip away from you early, because they'll get rolling on you and just bury you.
Illegal motion, 83 offense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
That's Sanders. Third penalty against Washington. It'll be second down and 9 as Buffalo up on the 49ers.
Bad news there for Redskin fans. The Rams are leading the Jets 21-7. And even worse news that the Redskins are losing right now to the Falcons.
Rypien sprints to the right side on 2nd and 9, and he's going deep to Monk. Monk makes the catch. No, he's out of bounds. Bobby Butler was the defensive back. Monk had it for a second, realized he was out of bounds, and
he made a nice move on Bobby. He gave him a little hesitation step and let Bobby slide in front of him and try to work back to the ball, but it's simply thrown out of bounds. That's a tough one for anybody to catch, and Art Monk had just tried to keep his feet in, but just could not.
So it'll be 3rd down and 9 now for Washington. The ball at the 18. And the Redskins have their hands full. 20-10 Atlanta with 6:14 remaining in the half. Pressure's coming from Bruce. Rypien gets away for it for a second, now is taken down from behind and throws incomplete. This is Tim Gordon. Gordon down to the 5. Did he pick that off?
I think the ball was down. I think they ruled it was down.
They have to rule it was down, don't they? Here it is again.
Rypien's flushed out of the pocket by Bruce and Gann is really hot in pursuit after Rypien all the way to the sideline. And when he unloads the ball, I thought it hit the ground. Let's see what happens here, though. It pops off the shoe of Jesse Tuggle, and Tim Gordon, 41, comes in and makes the interception. It hit right off the shoe of Tuggle, number 58. Pops up in the air. Gordon, with the interception, works down the sideline.
It'll be first down and goal, Atlanta. They mark it at the 6.
That's how low the ball was, though. It comes over and hits him on the foot, shoots up in the air, and Tim Gordon finds goal.
They're reviewing it.
There's another peek at it. Now watch the foot of Jesse Tuggle here as the ball hits off of his heel. Right there. You see it pop up right up in the air. And now Gordon comes in and makes the interception.
From that angle, it doesn't appear that it did hit the ground. First and goal, Falcons at the 6.
I think everyone in the stadium thought that play was dead except for Gordon. He knew what happened.
I thought it hit the ground and bounced, incomplete. Atlanta scored on its last 3 possessions. Touchdown, touchdown, and field goal. And the Falcons have it first and goal at the 6. 3 tight ends. And Atlanta takes a timeout. Well, they were loading up with a power formation with Heller, Beckman, and Wilkins. And they had Settle and Keith Jones in the backfield. One of the largest crowds of the year for the Falcons here at Fulton County Stadium, and they are being treated to certainly one of their best performances of the year by the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Haynes has caught 2 touchdown passes. It's first and goal at the 6. Settle right side, inside the 5-yard line to the 4. Settle's a load. He's 5'9", 210-pounder.
And when you think about John Settle, you think about how good he had to be for the Falcons to allow Gerald Riggs to escape to Washington. Granted, they got some draft choice, but you see him just punishing those defensive linemen as he goes up into that line of scrimmage. So yeah, I almost got in there. He's been looking. He wanted to get 1,000 yards this season. It's not going to happen. The running game hasn't gone that well for the Falcons, but he has been nonstop in trying to get there.
Don't be too quick. He only needs 35 more yards to get 1,000 yards total offense. Here he is again, inside the 5. Touchdown Falcons. John Settle. The 24-year-old Pro Bowler has his 5th touchdown of the year.
And watch, he's a low runner, see, and that makes it very difficult to stop. And he gets into that traffic, you're going to see him just dip that shoulder and get on into the end zone. That's the kind of play you need back in that running back position. He's got nice style and a little backup in the end zone as well.
3-yard touchdown run extends that lead to 16 points, and Davis trying to make it 17. And he does. Atlanta has now scored 24 straight points after trailing 10-3. Cold night in Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium, and thus far it's been mostly the Falcons. Miller's been hot. Haynes has 2 touchdown catches. Settle has a touchdown run. And the Falcons lead the Redskins. Orr has it at the 20-yard line, and he's taken down after a gain of 1.
We talk about bad luck. That kick's supposed to go out of bounds there, and you get it on the 35. This one had a little backspin on it and just simply stops. Now, that's what you got to do. If you see that ball over there in that sideline, it looks like it might roll out of bounds, then you indeed let it. But this case, it was rolling back in towards the field of play. So it was a good decision on Orr's part to pick it up and try to get as much as he could out of the play.
Somehow the Redskins have to put their finger in the dike. 24 straight Atlanta points. The offense now has to gel for Washington. First down at the 18. Sanders in motion, outside pressure for Rypien, who throws to Biner on the screen and gets a great block. Biner out to the 27-yard line, but what a block he got from Raleigh McKenzie.
I tell you, though, the key, though, is the way Ernest Biner set the play up. He saw Andre Bruce rushing in his face, number 93. He lets him come in, gives him a little stick, lets Andre think that he's beating him, and then he just slides back out and allows Mark Rypien to dump the ball off to him. And now he gets some nice blocking out front by his offensive line. Right there, that's Mark McKenzie, number 63. That's Schlereth, 69. Gets out there and gets a nice block at the point of attack.
A gain of 10 And the Rams extend their lead. Greg Bell with a 5-yard touchdown run. And it's now 28-7. They're calling for snow this evening here in Atlanta, mixed with some frozen rain, freezing rain. Sleet.
I was letting you dig a hole for yourself on that one, buddy.
Rypien on first down throws to his tight end Warren. He makes the catch and a gain of 3 yards. He was working on Charles Dimry.
You think about what Rypien is probably saying to himself and to his receivers when he gets back in that huddle is, hey, look, now the posse's really got to stand up and be counted. This is a chance now for us to kind of establish ourselves once again as the dominant players.
Sanders comes out. Charles Dimry replaces him at the right cornerback. Deion Sanders. It's 2nd down and 6 for Rypien. This is Monk. He'll be short of the first down. Bobby Butler takes him over to the sidelines and drops him rather rudely.
Bobby and Art have been going at it for a long time. Bobby, I think this is his 8th or 9th year as a #1 draft choice. So they've seen each other over the years and gained a great deal of respect for one another, but that's the reason why you don't want Art Monk running over you if you're Bobby Butler.
He's another one of those cornerbacks out of Florida State. Bobby Bowden just keeps turning them out down there. 3rd down and 1 for the Redskins. Biner has the first down to the 41-yard line, and the clock continues to move at 3:20 remaining in the first half. Tackle was made by Malcolm Taylor. Go ahead, Dan.
I want to tell you something, though. That offensive line of the Redskins that time took Tony Casillas for a ride up inside. The interior of that offensive line came off the ball and pushed Casillas back about 5 yards. So those Hogs are starting to get into the slop there. The field's getting a little sloppy. They're starting to enjoy themselves a little bit now.
There's one of the originals. Boston. First down, backside pressure. Rypien gets out of it. And it's ruled incomplete. Charles Dimry almost made a fantastic catch for the interception, but he was out of bounds.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Rypien made a great escape on that time, getting away from Ben Thomas, number 72. Thomas was rushing from the right side of your screen. And watch Rypien on the avoid here. This is good athleticism right here. Backing up, falling down, still unloads the ball, dangerously unloads the ball. Maybe you just want to put it down into the dirt, and they'll try to make the completion.
What has to concern the Redskins right now, as you see the completion of the play, is that this defense has only 27 sacks for the year. It has not really applied much pressure, and yet today they've really been in the backfield of the Redskins. Second down and 10. Flag flies. Completion to Sanders at the 49-yard line, but there is a penalty.
Tim, to get back to your earlier point, though, one of the reasons why the Falcons defense looks so much better is they've cut those outside linebackers loose. Tim Green, Marcus Cotton, and Andre Bruce.
Gordon McCarter tells us the holding is against the defense.
Holding, number 99, defense, 5 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
That's Tim Green, the 4-year veteran out of Syracuse.
Told us he's writing a book now, a novel on football, and that's no way to keep your fingers in shape for the typewriter. You know, you do all that holding, you might jam up your fingers.
More importantly, he's in law school and soon to be a lawyer. Good protection this time on first down. They're going deep to Clark, and Clark can't hold on at the 10. Clark had a whole host of defensive backs. Tim Gordon was there along with Robert Moore. He still almost made the grab.
You remember the one he made last week? I mean, right off the tip. And then here again, he's going right down on the post. And this ball is just about a half a foot too long, thrown too long. He gets one hand on it, but he just can't get to it.
So to bring up second down and 10, the ball at the 46 for Rypien. You see the clock, 2:27 remaining in the half. Donnie Warren switches sides. Backside pressure. Rypien throws it up to Sanders, and there's a flag. The flag will be against Scott Case.
Scott Case can argue his case, but he has no case because that was pass interference.
Great pressure was coming from Jesse Tuggle, and Rypien made a great adjustment and threw it up.
Pass interference, number 25 defense, automatic first down.
Big play.
Problem was with Scott Case is he got on the receiver, Sanders' back right there, and as he trips, the feet get tangled up a little bit, and you can avoid the receiver, but you also have to avoid his feet. Now he's going to get up and argue that, hey, look, his feet got tangled up. That's not my problem.
Like last week, a score before the half is critical for Washington. A 34-yard penalty. It's first down at the 19. Again, there's pressure from Tuggle this time. Clark, touchdown, no. Incomplete. Scott Case was beaten. And again, oh, so close for Washington.
Watch Clark lay out here in the end zone. He does everything he possibly can to catch the ball, but as he's stretched out, that's when they say he goes out of bounds. So he makes the reception now. He's still in the end zone, gets 1 foot down. Boy, I don't know, that one's close. We're going to have to take another look at that one, I think. Let's go upstairs. I bet you we're going to have to see that one once again.
No, but I think what's going to be critical here is that his knee hit out of bounds before the second foot touchdown. They will review it.
Yeah, let's take another peek at that one. Let's be sure.
Get much closer than that.
Chuck Heberling over there, replay official for today. Former official in the National Football League for a number of years.
Being reviewed.
Here's another look at it. Makes the reception.
Watch his right knee.
1 foot down, knee goes down. Yeah, he was
incomplete pass.
His right knee hit before his left foot touched inbounds.
That's right, and then it dragged out of bounds.
Second down and 10 at the 19 for the Redskins. Warren in motion. Rypien throws to the corner to Clark again, and he can't get it.
Gary Clark wants to make sure everybody knows he's been in a ball game. You see how dirty that uniform is, and the reason why is because he's been flying all over the end zone trying to make receptions. This one, it seems like Rypien throws a little bit better when somebody is in his face. He seems to complete it, and that time he just leads Clark just about a step too much. And there's Clark getting his uniform dirty.
See his gloves come out of his pants?
Oh, yeah, he's got everything
gloves
going.
Stuck in his pants. They fell out when he extended himself. There they are right there. Third down and 10, Redskins. Rypien is sacked. Gann got there along with Tim Green.
That's 2 sacks today for Gann. 2 sacks, he gets 2 headbutts from Tim Green. Tim Green is the resident headbutt specialist for the Atlanta Falcons. When there was a big play made, he's going to give you a headache.
So Chip Lohmiller comes on from 47 yards. He's 3 for 7 between 40 and 49 yards. And we'll have to wait for the kick. We've got the 2-minute warning. We'll be back. 2 minutes to go, first half. 27-10. Atlanta over Washington. Chip Lohmiller will come on and attempt a 47-yarder. His longest for the year is 48. He's got a streak of 8 in a row.
And if you look at the streamers at the top of the goalpost, there's really no wind to speak of down on the field, so that shouldn't be a real consideration for Chip Lohmiller.
Redskins needed a touchdown there and almost had it. Now they'll settle for 3. It's 27-10 Falcons. No good. Redskins still trail by 17.
Joe Gibbs thinking maybe, hey, look, we get the field goal there. We close it to within 2 touchdowns and try to get back in the second half and make sure things click right for us.
Dan, Atlanta comes into this game with the worst rushing offense in the league. You know they have to throw to be successful, and yet Washington cannot stop them.
Well, I think one of the problems has been today is that for the Falcons, they've really got things going up front with their offensive line. They're coming off the ball very nicely, and that's all you have to do in the running game. John Settle is running the ball well, so it works for you. Now, the Redskins have had a problem stopping them, and the reason why is those linebackers have to get active for the Redskins. They've got to start making some tackles.
First down at the 29. This is John Settle. Big hole straight ahead, and blasts his way out to the 48-yard line. Finally stopped by Clarence Vaughn.
Your linemen are going to be tied up with offensive linemen. Your defensive linemen are. Now, what that means is your linebackers have to slide along the line of scrimmage and make the tackles. If they don't make them, then your secondary makes them, and that's not who you want making the tackles downfield because the offense is gaining positive yardage.
A gain of 21. Miller now on first down drills this one across the middle, and it's ruled incomplete. Collins was the intended receiver. And that'll stop the clock at 1:25.
Those crossing routes down there, when you know you have those linebackers sitting back in the zone, is when you tell your quarterback, Chris Miller, hey, Chris, get it to me on time. Don't wait and don't hang it up.
Atlanta is 0-8 on the road, 3-3 at home. Falcons had their first winless road record since 1967. But they're trying now to get a win after 5 straight losses. Second down and 10. Miller looks backside to Settle, and he can't hold on.
John Settle, I thought that Roberto Duran had the hands of stone. I didn't know it was John Settle. That one hit him in a bad place, though. But Chris Miller, on the other hand, is having a pretty good day. He's throwing 50%, 11 completions, 22 attempts, 225 yards in the first half. That against a Washington Redskin defense that for the last couple of weeks has just been sensational. He's really fallen on hard times today.
It's hard to believe it's only his 29th NFL start. Fewest interceptions in the NFL. Not a bad golfer either, 4 handicapping. Third down and 10 at the 48 for Miller. This one's flat out dropped by Gene Lang. He should have had it. Miller knows it.
Yeah, I think Gene Lang was already in the locker room. Gene Lang comes across, right across in the middle, settles up in the defense, and this ball is simply thrown to the best possible place in his hands, and he just drops it. No excuse for dropping the football, particularly in a critical game. You got to try to go out on a winning note in the season, catch the football.
Now Washington will get the ball back with plenty of time, 1:14. His first punt was 56 yards. This time Fulhay gets off a tail wagger, and Sanders will take it inside the 5. Avoids one tackler and gets back to the 10. 48-yard punt, 6-yard return, and Washington has all 3 timeouts remaining. But they have to go 90 yards in 64 seconds.
It will be interesting now to see how Mark Rypien uses his wide receivers. That is, are they going to work the sidelines and try to get the out-of-bounds patterns, or are they going to try to go up the field and get as much yardage as they can working the interior of the field? They've got 3 timeouts, as you mentioned.
Miners the lone setback. Rypien throws this one across the middle, and it's incomplete. Broken up by Case. It was intended for Ricky Sanders.
Ricky Sanders came across the field. Art Monk runs a go straight down the field. Never stopped to look back. He's working against Bobby Butler. It's going to be interesting now to see if Rypien says, hey, look, what did you think about that go pattern where you open it all? And I'm sure Monk has got to tell him, hey, no, I wasn't, because Butler had him covered like a blanket.
Rypien 4 for 11, 54 yards, but he's missed his last 5. You see the time remaining in the half. Biner taken down immediately by Gann, and Thomas was there as well.
Ben Thomas came in from the backside of the play from his defensive end position and caught Biner right away, because what happens is when you run that counter tray, you pull him from the backside, and that allows that defensive end, if he doesn't read down the line of scrimmage, to come around and make the stop in the backfield.
Redskins take timeout with 33 seconds remaining.